Hi, welcome to GC 365, and I am so excited about today
excited
for so many reasons. I'm Pastor Stacy. I'm the family pastor here.
I'm Blake Beltran, one of the graphic designers here.
Okay, fun fact. So many of you know that my daughter, Haley, is the youth pastor here. Well, Blake is my son, and you've often heard me refer to all of my kids, but he is my middle child.
I am.
And I would say you're kind of the quintessential middle child.
Thank you.
If I remember right, I've forgotten to pick you up a couple times when you were younger. He just kind of goes with the flow. He's very easy, very thoughtful, very laid back.
It's something you just sort of learn as a middle child.
There's probably some other middle. I'm the oldest of my siblings, so I can't really relate.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay.
Today is day 123, which is actually my favorite number. Right. My birthday is January 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
And so what is kind of...
Anytime it's like 1:23 o'clock, well, I'll text mom, happy birthday. It's her birthday. It's such a special number.
It is. I love it. But the thing with that one is I can only catch it typically during the day. I'm not often up at 1:23 a.m. So I don't get to catch it on the second one. And same thing with yours.
Right.
3:20.
Yeah, 3:20.
Afternoon.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm up at 3:20 a.m.
Brother.
But also this is airing on May 3rd, which is one of my close friends, Andrew Doe's birthday. And
happy birthday, Andrew.
Happy
21.
Birthday. Shout out to him. And it is our worship pastor Pablo's birthday.
Pablo, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you, Pablo.
Yes. May is a great month. We have a ton of birthdays in our family in May. It's Mother's Day, which is a great day. That is coming up on the 9th.
And yeah, it's one of your child's birthdays.
Not on the 9th, the 10th.
On the 16th.
Oh, the 16th. 2 children.
Sorry.
Yes. Okay, so now we're rambling, and we have a son-in-law's birthday as well. So not we, you don't. Okay, we are really rambling. Let's get started into the reading. We were laughing, talking about this. It was so interesting.
Yeah, it's almost comical, really, the amount of irony going on.
Okay, why don't you kick us off? In Judges 17, we're talking about Micah's idols.
Micah's idols. So in summary, he gives us a little bit of context about Micah and the fact that anything could really fly in this town. The Israelites really did whatever they wanted to do.
Right. They didn't really have a leader at this time.
Right.
They didn't have a king. And so they just did what felt good to them.
Right. So Micah starts off with him asking his mom, so you said you were going to curse whoever stole 1,100 gold pieces of yours. Don't be mad. It was me. And then she's like, oh, honey, you're totally fine. Like,
She rewards him. So, yeah, it was silver. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I'm sorry. It was actually me. Mm-hmm. And so she rewards him for being honest. Now, as you know, I always have told my kids, be honest. And then we just know what we're dealing with and we can deal with it. There's going to be consequences, but it is so much better than getting wrapped up in a lie and remembering, what did I say? And that's so stressful. And that honesty really is the best policy. So while I appreciate that Micah said, hey, yeah, Mom, I don't want you to curse me. It was me. But then she turns around and says, oh, that's so great of you. And takes 200 pieces and takes it to the silversmith, melts it down and turns it into an idol.
Yeah, and he moves out and places
and takes the idol with him.
Yep, and worships that idol of himself.
So when I read that, I'm like, this is the craziest story in the middle of all of this. But when we get to Judges 18, it comes back around a couple times.
So the tribe of Dan raids this town, and they take all of his idols, and we forgot to mention
the Levite priest.
The Levite priest. Yeah. We forgot to talk about that. The priest was someone he was a priest from Bethlehem. He came and found this man and decided that it was worth enough. The income was worth enough for him to be the personal priest for Micah. as opposed to what he was doing in Bethlehem. I mean, I know that Bethlehem, he wasn't making an income from the people.
Right. Well, yes, that stood out to me. That was odd to me. For one thing, his job to be a priest was to lead the city, to lead groups of people, and then to become and take the job to be his personal priest.
Right.
Now, I've heard of personal chefs. I don't have one. You kind of have one when I do cook at home.
I think I do have one.
Yeah. I've heard of personal, even drivers for people maybe that live in New York or have a lot of money, or personal nannies that take care of other people's kids. But a personal priest.
It's a very high regard of a status.
Well, and so like you were starting to say, the Danites, the tribe of Dan, they come in, they actually end up taking his idols, his money.
The priest.
Right. And take the priest.
They take the priest.
Exactly.
Well, because they had a valid argument. It was like, why would you be the priest of one man when you can lead all of us? And I guess the priest remembered why he was a priest.
Yes. But overall, in the Old Testament reading, I thought it was just, unfortunately, such a example, and we see of people just throwing all regulations to the wind, all of God's decrees, and they were meant to be representing him and be upholding all of what they knew to be living in God's word. And in one of the commentaries that I read, it said it's very similar to what we are seeing today, where people are like, if it feels good, do it. The whole YOLO, you only live once, and as long as it's not hurting anybody, and we just justify all of these things with positive thoughts, positive energy, good feelings, and it was really quite destructive and hurtful.
Yeah, for how much irony was in this story, I think that the lesson that I sort of took from it was that when Micah lost all of his idols and the priest, his own personal priest, he said, he's like, I have nothing now. I have nothing. And if I was robbed, if our house was robbed and I lost all my things, I would feel like I lost something.
Yeah.
Because somebody else robbed that from me. But my faith is one of the only things that no one else can take from me.
Yeah.
But the hard truth about that is it relies on my own foundation of my faith. And so what am I doing to solidify that?
I love that. And that is one of the things I am so proud of you for, is you are so confident in your faith. And I just want to encourage a lot of parents right now that you might have some younger kids, teenagers, and they all have to come to an understanding and have their own faith, and that it's not just your faith. You had to do that. My other kids had to do that as well. And it's your faith encourages me and makes my faith stronger as well.
Wow.
And so I just want to encourage you parents out there that don't give up. And the power of a praying parent really is so important. So please do not stop praying for your children ever. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay.
Love you very much.
Okay. I love you too. So, New Testament. So we really had great reading.
Yeah.
John 3, Nicodemus.
John 3. Nothing too noteworthy in this one.
I know. We were like, we even have John 3:16. This is so great. Nicodemus was a Pharisee. He was a religious leader, and he wanted to understand Jesus better.
Yeah. He challenged, and because he wanted to learn. What kind of stuck out to me was honestly verses 14 and 15 out of the whole thing. And I'll read this passage for you guys. It says, "And as Moses lifted up the bronze snake on a pole in the wilderness, so the Son of Man must be lifted up, so that everyone who believes in him will have eternal life." And I was doing a little bit of research on that because a snake is so symbolic. And I was reading, and I was coming to find out that like the medical symbol is there's actually a few different interpretations of it. There's the staff of Hermes and Serducius. But one of them, where you only see one snake on a pole, is alluding to this passage or alluding to that message of the snake on the pole. Mm-hmm. It's really cool to look at because they were told
that it came from the Bible.
And, and they were told, if you look at that, you will be healed. And so it's such a cool symbol of healing.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. It was kind of discouraging. I was so rooting for Nicodemus. Like, come on, you can get it. He's asking Jesus. He's like, what do you mean? Mm-hmm. I need to be born again. That doesn't make any sense. You can't go back into your mother's womb. Like, he was being so literal. Mm-hmm. And, Jesus was saying, you're hearing me, but you're not, like, you can hear my words, but you're not hearing me. You're not processing it. And that we really do need that relationship with Jesus is so important, and that is where his words will stand out. And again, I always like to remind kids when I'm talking to them, it really is the living word, in the sense that I can read the same scriptures over and over again, and depending on what I'm going through in my life, Jesus speaks to me differently, which I love. But that is how we need to come to understand him. Right. And Nicodemus, I think, walked away feeling discouraged, like, okay, I'm never going to get it.
Yeah. It's tough.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We had a great Psalms.
Mm-hmm. Psalms 104.
Yep.
Is what stuck out to me in that one was sort of the end, when it talks about,
sorry, I'll get there.
Oh, it's okay. Me too.
Here you go.
Okay, it says, the mighty lions roar for their dinner, but it's you, God, who feeds them all. At sunrise, they slink back to their dens, to crouch down in the shadows. And then the last verse, then man goes out to his labor and toil, working from dawn to dusk. And I was thinking about that because God calls us not to worry about where our next meal comes from. And looking at the last couple verses, I don't think there's a difference between the lions roaring for their dinner and God who feeds them, and the man going out to his labor, working from dawn to dusk. I think we should look at those similarly, where God will provide for us too, you know. But just as much as the lions will stalk their prey, so will we.
Yes. Yeah. Now, I loved that they were talking about praising God in so many ways. And there's so many things that remind me of how good and how glorious he is, whether I'm at the beach and the ocean knows when to stop. And the sunsets that we see, there is so much beauty. Okay, I'm going to jump to Proverbs.
Cool.
This was basically short and sweet. The thing that stood out to me is at the end, it says, it is a sin to belittle one's neighbor. Blessed are those who help the poor. And when they say neighbors, they're meaning everyone, your family and your friends. And it was just a good reminder to me, remembering that we don't know everything that everybody's going through, whether they had a hard day, whether they're going through a hardship at home, and really just to show grace, to represent Jesus with grace and mercy as he does with us.
Totally.
So,
I had a lot of fun.
Yes, this was good. Happy birthday to everyone in May.
Happy birthday.
And I stick with it. This is day 123.
Day 123, you guys. You guys are doing awesome.
Get to 124, and we will see you next time.
Bye.